Hello and welcome to the RWBY podcast. It is June the 4th, 2017, and we got a lot of stuff to talk about. We got RWBY Chibi Season 2, the first 4 episodes, and we got soundtrack samples, and the DVD is coming soon, so we'll be talking about all that today. I am Mary Poppins, y'all, Mediaocrity 4.
I'm Ballzy 247. I'm broadcasting straight from my man cave, aka the backyard shed.
I am currently doing this podcast while watching a Smash Brothers Melee tournament, but I am really excited to talk about all the bullshit with the soundtrack. That's going to be fun, and it's going to make this fandom really crazy until Season 5 starts. I am Dude What the Heck.
And I am a brand new voice. My name is Robert. I am to the RWBY fandom what Martin Luther was to the Catholic Church.
Oh my god.
I think you've posted more than 90. I think you've posted more than 95 theses by now, to be honest, Robert.
The thing is, for you listeners who don't understand, he's not wrong.
No, he's not wrong at all.
Robert is a constant collaborator to meaningful conversations on various Facebook pages, and we've invited him here on today. He is mostly known for doing these long-ass lists and then posting them as docs on like RWBY Republic and our own Facebook page, RWBY and Beyond.
Which you should join, by the way.
Yes, if you haven't already.
If you haven't already.
Do it. You know you want to. Do it.
Media changing the description and the tags for it really helps us get some more members.
Yeah.
We had it all messed up before, and like nobody was joining. Then all of a sudden, tons of people started joining. But yeah, Robert is somebody. I'm pretty sure if you listen to all of our podcasts, which if you do, we love you very much, and you're crazy. But we've referenced him like a lot, many times, many times. I think it's safe to say that Robert and Media are the two people that I've ever seen that know the most about this show.
I'll go into depth as much as I do.
Yeah, exactly. So we're happy to have him.
Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah.
So what do we want to talk about first? Do we want to go through the Chibi stuff first?
Yeah, we'll be going through the first 4 episodes of Chibi. The first, if this is going to be the same length as last season, we are 1/6 of the way through this season. So yeah, let's get this started. Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. I'm just kidding. It's director Ozpin.
No, it's definitely not that bad. Ozpin's definitely a better director than Lucas was for that. So you know.
Shots fired, man.
He'd have to be completely incompetent.
Oh, come on. George Lucas was not completely incompetent.
That's true. He was not as bad as M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong was in The Last Airbender. Which
and then he kind of redeemed himself in that horror movies.
No. You can't redeem yourself for The Last Airbender. You can't take the best TV show ever, the best anime TV show ever, and turn it into one of the worst movies ever and redeem yourself from that. It's not.
Sure, you can. He did it.
No.
But Split was a good movie on its own terms.
But not possible. All right, so
he'll always have The Last Airbender hanging over his head.
Yeah, and that's not the only terrible movie he's done, so that's just the worst.
No comment.
No, I feel like I'm going to have to address all that when I inevitably do MIS on the 6th Sense.
Yeah, you're going to have to do some sort of Last Airbender clip. Okay, so, tangents, we'll pretend the tangents are out of the way. So, what was the first skit was director Ozpin.
Yeah, director Ozpin, which I think was a great way to start off the show.
I
because
definitely
it's
like that.
Oh, hey, yeah, RWBY Chibi's back.
RWBY Chibi.
And then it just, it's the standard RWBY Chibi intro, and then it just falls apart.
Which we're used to that as well.
Which might be a self-fulfilling prophecy, but...
Yeah, a little bit.
It's like blooper reel right there. It's like season 2 was opened as a blooper reel.
I thought it was funny, and I liked not just that it fell apart. I liked that it was the bad guys that were the ones responsible for it. I just thought that's funny. Anytime Yuri Lowenthal speaks, I still find it funny. His dry sarcasm, like his delivery is always really funny. So I like to. He has more lines in Chibi already than he did in the entire Volume 4.
Yeah.
What? He had lines in Volume 4?
No,
I don't.
That's the joke.
No, he did not.
That's the joke.
Yeah, that's the joke.
It's almost as great as dad jokes.
Oh, we'll get there. We'll get there.
I'm just glad that like he hasn't been in any action scenes since Volume 3 because his fight scene with Yang, I just like, oh my god, this is just like Sasuke, please, no.
Capoeira dance.
But I love Yuri Lowenthal, but it's yeah.
But the best part about this scene is that, to me, at least, this is what I said, was that
I think we agree on this, but go on.
Yeah, it sort of confirms the idea that Chibi, while it's technically stuck in a certain time, they will be referencing more like stuff that happens later on in the show, which I like. That was kind of, and that essentially confirms the idea that Chibi is kind of canon, because we talked about this last season in our podcast from the last Chibi, like from season 1 of Chibi.
Season 1.
Yeah, that Chibi's not canon, but it is kind of canon because the characters are just exaggerated versions of their real selves in the show. So they are consistent, and the Chibi kind of hints at things that will happen in the next volume. So that's partly why it's so important, and we can kind of see that confirmed here because the joke here is that Ozpin is clueless, just like he was at the end of Volume 3.
And most of Volume 2.
Yeah, exactly. So they are still doing meta references to the show, which I like. Which I find weird, though, because then the rest of the season so far, they haven't done anything like that, which kind of disappoints me. But there's still time.
Yeah,
because most of the jokes, most of the hints that we got in Volume 1 of Chibi for Volume 4 of RWBY happened in the middle and the second half of the episode. So there's still time for that.
Yeah. My favorite part of the skit, or aspect of the skit, kind of touches on the same principle, but I just love that they're self-aware. Like, they know!
That's kind of what I think about this scene, is that it's kind of Miles and Carrie saying, okay, we know how we made Ozpin look. We're sorry. We know. But for now, we're just going to laugh at it.
Yeah, exactly. And that's it's good evidence to show people who are ignorant of the fact that the writers are aware that they fuck up.
Well, yeah, and it's not even so much a fuck up, it's just, Ozpin did a lot of things just because plot.
Yeah.
Because movie, or because show.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
And it's good that they're addressing that, basically.
And I like that, true to character, it's RWBY that is questioning everything first.
Yeah, that's true. And again, they do keep the characters consistent, which again begs the question why Neptune acts so gay in the first season of Chibi, but maybe we can touch on that later. And in this season too, again, but we'll get to that.
But yeah, it's like, I feel like RWBY wants it to be an evil villain behind everything. Well, yeah, well, the whole death. What's the thing you'd say about her? She's got like a martyr complex. Yeah, the martyr complex thing. Yeah, I've been writing that entire aspect of her character for over a year now. Like that is what I built RWBY around, is RWBY's martyr complex. That I may have projected onto her.
I don't think it's a projection. I think it's definitely there. I think there's definitely.
Oh yeah, it's definitely there.
Let's talk for another time.
So they started off strong, and then the next skit I thought was garbage. I didn't understand the point of it. Like, they might as well not have included it.
A part of me almost thought that maybe this was their way of saying, okay, we know that this first skit was garbage, or something like that. I don't know. Like the original skit.
Oh, like making fun of the original.
The original Compost King thing.
The original Compost King, which is true because that was a really bad skit. The first one, I hated that one. That's an interesting thought, actually, Robert. I don't know if that's true, but that's a good. I mean, that would make it slightly better, I guess, to me. Because I didn't find it funny at all. This version either. I didn't find the original Compost King funny, but then again, the original Compost King was worse because it went on longer and it was not funny.
I just had a terrible thought.
Go on.
Pyrrha's tusk is in the compost. Terrible thought, and I'm not sorry.
You shouldn't be sorry. That's pretty funny. I wouldn't be sorry either.
Yeah, don't apologize for making jokes. Just apologize when it's not actually a joke. Hey, we're getting topical.
I see what you did there. Where's my tough? Even I see what you did there meme.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I don't know if there's anything else to talk about that skit. It was garbage, basically. But I like the next one.
Okay, so, and I think this is as good a time as any. The middle skits in each of these, I think they're purposely trying to structure these episodes more consistently. And it's kind of like the comparison of seasons 1, or volumes 1 and 2, rather, of RWBY proper, where the first one actually where volume 1 actually had a lot more important stuff going on in it. But it was just all over the place. Like, Phantom Menace level mind just stretched thin and everything, just scatterbrained. And Volume 2, which didn't have as much stuff going on, but it was a lot more well-paced and structured and stuff like that. I feel like they're kind of doing the same thing with Chibi now, is instead of having these kind of filler segments just shotgunned across the entire season, they're putting them in the middle of each episode.
Okay, I get what you're saying. Because I remember when we did our last podcast, we had this issue where like certain episodes would be a bunch of garbage, and then certain episodes would be like several really good skits. So I can kind of see what you're saying with that. But then again, I still have a problem with some of them, even the filler skits being that bad, because not all the filler skits are that bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So UFOs, I think, looking at the four like little filler jokes we have so far for this season, I'd say UFO's the weakest of the 4.
Yeah.
But that's kind of what it is. It's like, oh hey, wouldn't it be funny if Pyrrha sneezed while like making a UFO
referencing the
you can see how that falls apart and isn't funny while you're saying
referencing the unholy Pyrrha scream.
Oh yeah, but somebody thought it was funny enough to animate.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I don't get why that like Nora when she sneezed like Nora's like
I know
because it killed the cow.
It did.
The shield.
So why did John go like in the fetal position?
Because of Nora's screaming.
But why does Nora care? Like Nora loves to kill things. We've seen that before. Like remember her with, you know what I'm saying? Like when she's riding the Beowulf, she's like, "Whoa, no, it's broken." Like, she doesn't give a fuck about killing stuff. I mean, given her background, she definitely wouldn't care about killing shit to survive. So
maybe she got. Maybe she was just invested, like emotionally invested.
I just think they thought it would be funny to have somebody cry, and then it wasn't funny. That's really all I think it was. They didn't think about it that much. Because if you really think about it, there's nothing actually clever there. Anyway, I don't even want to talk. I don't even want to talk about it anymore because it's so boring.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just we'll just blame Miles like we usually do.
Yeah, well, it's true.
Okay, the next one is Dodgeball.
Which I liked. That
did
was
too.
good use of
I did
Penny.
too.
This
I
was a
love
good
the
one.
way. I love the name she gives. What's the name she gives Dodgeball again? Like throw the ball. Wait, what is that? What does she say? Hold on, let me see if I can pull it up.
Throw the ball at the people and eliminate your enemies. Or something like that.
Dodge the ball and eliminate people with the ball, I think is what it was. I should have written that down.
Yeah, I think that's funny. Like, so I
Hello,
like how
meat person.
Dodge the ball, then eliminate your enemies with the ball. Just looked it up on
I
the
was
wiki.
close.
Also, meat persons. Yes, that was hilarious.
Yeah, normal
It's
meat
like-
Yes,
person.
I am a
Normal
completely
meat person
normal
is
meat person.
definitely good.
Obviously, the characteristic that they decided to just run with on Penny is that she's not human.
Which I'm perfectly good with that. That's great. You know that if it's because Chibi is lowbrow humor, which is fine. They did it really well in the first season of Chibi, and this skit is really good. It would rank up against a lot of the best Chibi skits from last season, and I'm totally fine with them going with that very simple, obvious humor and doing it well. If they do it well, then it's fine, and I like that. I like how they did it here.
Yeah, Penny. Penny's so adorable.
Yeah, and
Oh,
she's
yeah.
adorable. It works.
She opens up so many comedic possibilities, especially in what they do here for the punchline, slapstick.
Penny gave John head.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Ship
And that was
confirmed?
that was in the subtitles for a short period of time in the YouTube.
Yeah.
And he inadvertently gives Jean head. Yep.
Yeah. So I really like that, and if this was a hint at things to come,
Yes,
then I
yes.
was right, because I've been saying it for a long time now that I want Penny to be rebuilt and become the fourth member of Team Juniper.
Yep.
Same here.
Yep. If for no other reason than it means Oscar is not part of Team Juniper.
Oh, hell
Seriously,
yeah.
God.
I will say this. I will say this till the day I die. Fuck Oscar. He sucks. He's terribly written, and he's a pile of garbage. And you know that's bad because I used to hate Lancaster. But fuck Oscar. He
Well,
sucks.
we're not talking about shipping, but if we're talking about
Yeah,
shipping,
well,
then
that's still part of it. That's part of why I hate Oscar. But he also is just a garbage. He's a terribly written character, and I don't want him in the show. Anyway. But yeah, this is the one. This is, I think, the best example in this season of something that might be a hint toward the future, toward Volume 5, like what Media said. Which, of course, I like having Penny and Jean interact that way. And I'm sure a ton of people watching this are going to be looking at this and saying, "What the fuck are you guys even on about?" There's just little hints that we pick up on with Chibi, and I feel like this is a hint of Penny possibly being part of Team Juniper, which would be great.
I also like how Ruby's trying to play it all off.
Yeah,
Like, I had no idea.
very awkwardly.
Oh yeah, she's totally normal. Yeah. Ooh.
They got fucking Neptune in this skit.
Yeah, still not acting quite as homosexual as he does in previous ones, but still kind of he is, which I still feel is a hint about his actual character. Because, like I said, it would annoy me more if they're making him act like this and then he's not, because then it doesn't make sense. Because every character is an exaggerated version of themselves. Even Penny has been, because Penny does act very similar to that in actual RWBY. Awkward, adorable.
Especially in her first appearance. Like,
yeah, especially in her early appearance.
They kind of toned it down in they kind of started to tone it down after it was actually revealed that she was a robot.
Yeah, a little bit, but still, it's still there. Like, she still talks the same way and everything. You know, like, she still talks awkward. She still speaks awkwardly and a little bit robotically. That continued the whole time. So I think it's still there, but that would mean it because if he's not, because again, he's still wearing the mustache. He's still overly exaggerated in a seemingly homosexual way, which is fine as long as that's what he actually is. Because then it just wouldn't make sense to me, and that would bug me if we had to like rethink things about the way they write Chibi. That they need to be consistent. At least that's the way I think about it, unless somebody disagrees. And we'll get that. I have the same issue with the soundtrack when we get to that. It's the same kind of thing. They got to be consistent.
Yeah.
Yep. I agree.
Because Robert, did we talk about this? What are your thoughts on what? Because you weren't in the last Chibi podcast. What did you think about the theory of Neptune actually being gay, based on how he's portrayed in Chibi?
I think it's definitely a possibility. I think there is the possibility that it's just Carrie messing around with like the whole buddy cop thing and just messing around with the overly flamboyant cop. But I do think it is it's been theorized even before Chibi came out that Neptune might actually be gay, that he's overcompensating, which I don't know if that actually happens, but it wouldn't surprise me.
That's true, because he does kind of act that way. That would make sense also.
And I will say, in Chibi, Carrie is acting a lot more like his character Dragon Face from X-Ray Vav than he does Neptune.
Yeah, I'll agree with that one. Although he's a little less
just the voice he's using. So that brings us to episode 2, right? Which is Book Lovers, Shiny Badge, and Geistbusters. So, Book Lovers. Visual humor. There is no, like, real joke unless you pause the episode.
Which I didn't really like this segment until I paused it, and then I actually thought it was pretty damn funny.
So, the book titles that I was able to pick out were A Man with Two Souls, which we've seen a couple times now. Another Pun. How to Read and Write Part 1. And the best, and the one that is the easiest to see, How to Arm Yourself. As is being shown by Yang.
Yeah.
Barb.
Yeah, just those little bits of subtle humor, that you kind of got to look for, which is fine, it's fun, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I found that pretty funny, because I didn't think it was that funny until I saw that. I thought it was another one of their slightly overdone, but not actually that hilarious, skits. But then seeing the visual humor definitely made it a lot funnier once I...
Yeah, and it seems like with this season, they haven't done any cat jokes yet. Instead, they've kind of honed in on Blake being a bookworm.
Yeah.
Making her super obsessed with that, yeah, definitely.
Which I'm pretty okay with, just because they did so many cat jokes last season that if they keep doing more, it probably wouldn't be as funny anymore. So I appreciate they're trying to do something different.
Yeah, it was definitely a little refreshing for them to do that, yeah.
Yeah, I dug it. Just the idea of a book fight kind of just gives me a headache thinking about it. Because I've been hit with the book before. It hurts.
Books are extremely painful. Like, a lot.
Especially hardbacks, oh yeah.
Even if you get hit by the spine of a paperback, it's really painful.
Yeah. So, I wonder whose idea it was, because it sure as hell wasn't Jean's idea.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Ruby and Yang were really, really bored.
Yeah, so, I mean, I don't know there's much more to say about that one.
It was okay. It was cute, and it's fun when you pause the video and look at some of the book titles.
Yeah. And then the next one is another
Tiny
little throwaway
badge.
one that I just didn't find funny. Personally.
The joke is that so with
The
this
joke
one,
is that Sun is
we
smarter
see,
than
we see
Neptune.
it again. The next time we actually see Sun and Neptune, 'cause they weren't in any of the other skits between now and then. But that Sun is like screwing with Neptune. Like Neptune's having such a hard time with something, and then Sun is having it easy, and turns out that Sun's doing something cheap to do it. Like that's the joke that they decided to play with these two, I guess.
And it kind of works with Sun and his character that he's kind of just this super laid back guy who doesn't mind taking the easy way. But yeah, it does feel a little bit okay. There's one of these jokes again. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. I didn't.
he works smarter, not harder.
Yeah, I just don't see anything super funny there, though, I guess.
But after that, we got Geistbusters, which I liked it a lot.
I mean, first of all, Plan G, already hilarious. And also more confirmation that they are doing, they're referencing current volumes. This was obviously the very most obvious reference to the current seasons of actual RWBY, which made me very happy. This was because it's literally a Geist, which was only seen in Volume 4. So yeah. I really like that, and that also lends to the idea of hints for the next volumes, which of course I'm happy about. And I'm glad to see that they're not completely stuck in one time period. I think that'd be too limited, and so I was glad to see that. So that's really technically my favorite part about this skit. I love that my idea was confirmed about that because I theorized that they would keep moving forward with all that, and a lot of people said that wouldn't happen. But so I'm glad to be right about that. But the Plan G thing was also hilarious enough by itself.
Yeah, Neo's absolutely adorable in the skit.
When is she not?
I like you in the bed fell on Blake, Weiss, and Yang. Like, I knew it. Textbooks are evil.
I mean, I thought it was funny enough. Just the guy's flying into his hat. I thought that was funny because that's actually kind of that's Looney Tunes logic, which I like. Yeah. Which I appreciate they did they brought some Looney Tunes logic because that was like very Wile E. Coyote, obviously, which Neo references as well.
Yeah.
And then the hat lands on Neo, and of course it's adorable. And how can you not love that?
I just feel kind of bummed out that that's the part of that scene that everybody talks about. It's like there were other funny stuff about it, like when Nora.
Oh, for sure.
Nora fucking ate the Grim.
That was my favorite part.
That was the best part. That's the best part of the season so far. Is Nora just fucking eating a Grim?
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah.
That's how they beat it. I'm so hungry.
Hungry.
You gonna eat that? So funny.
That's been the funniest part of this whole season so far is Nora eating the Grim.
Oh yeah, that was just that was genius. Yeah. It's always funny whenever Nora gets involved with like Grim on a less than violent level in these, or like in a playful level in any part of.
And as usual, Sam Ireland's voice acting is just completely on point.
Oh, she is brilliant. Yeah.
Like she makes Nora so much more animated than she would be otherwise. Like it's amazing. Like that's what people liked Red and Nora in the beginning. Like that's why she was a favorite in the first 2 seasons. Was the voice acting? It's there again too. Like how she's like their voice like that low. Like that was pretty. That made it definitely. That added a lot for me too. But that was actually the funniest part of the skit. As much as I love Nora, it's not my favorite because I mean a Plan G reference. That was back when I used to love watching. Do we have to explain what the Plan G reference is?
Plan G is to blow up Achievement City. It's from the Let's Play Minecraft stuff.
Yeah, it's from very, very old Let's Play Minecraft back in the golden age.
It was like the third video that they did for Minecraft.
Yeah, it's back from the golden age of Let's Play, because, I mean, I don't watch Let's Play anymore, and a lot less people watch Let's Play than they used to.
I watch their GTA stuff, and I'll watch their Minecraft stuff every once in a while. I actually prefer it when they play, like, different games, like when they do Trouble in Terrorist Town.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, in general, the views are way down on that show, and so that is back from like the golden age of their stuff, back from like 2011 or 2012, something pretty old.
Yeah, I think it would have had to be 2012 because I think that's when Minecraft came out.
It's pretty darn old. So that's what the reference is. So I love that. Very nostalgic, and I love the thing. The whole Volume 4 referencing the current RWBY volumes being referenced thing happening. I love that. But definitely the funniest part was Nora.
Well, yeah. And speaking of Achievement Hunter, you could, in the Geistbuster skit, you can clearly see the Chibi Men poster.
Really? I didn't even see
that. Really?
Yeah.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah, but, since Volume 1, they've had that poster up in their room of the Achievement, and it's supposed to be like this boy band in their universe, but it's also the people in Achievement Hunter, and you can really. I think this is the clearest look. Maybe you got better looks at it in Season 1, but it has always been there, and the Chibi version is a Chibi Men instead of Achievement.
That's funny.
So after that, episode 3.
Yep.
We have the Magic Show.
Which I thought, it's not my favorite, but it's a better version of the last, like, really big, long kind of stage thing they did, which was the Little Red Riding Hood play, which I didn't find very funny. And the RWBY burn on John already made this worth it.
Yeah. RWBY, make me look bad. You don't need any of my help doing that.
Yeah, that was great.
Poor John.
Poor John, yeah.
He's not. I love the guy, but I know.
Jean is not wearing his armor, and he has his Pumpkin Pete shirt on, which confirms that.
Yeah, so he doesn't need her help.
This
It looks
is
ridiculous.
at least this skit is not canon to, RWBY proper. Because Volume 4 was apparently the first time RWBY had seen him with his armor off.
But again, it's more proof that they're referencing things that happened in Volume 4 because you haven't seen the shirt until now and you're seeing it in Chibi now. So again, I'm glad to see that. But again, the next jokes weren't super funny, but I loved when he pulled Velvet out of the hat. That was hilarious.
Funny story about that. So the day it came out, it might have even been the day after. I was on here with might have been Ballzy, but Kitty Kirishima was on here with me, and High Power joined in. And he was like, "I'm gonna watch the episode," and then like 2 minutes later, he's like, "Jean pulled Velvet out of a fucking hat." What?
I saw that.
So I got genuine High Power reaction get blasted into my ear as I was having a nice conversation.
Yeah. I'm back, guys.
Alright, yeah.
Sorry, I had to go away from the keyboard for a bit.
Ballzy, were you with me on voice when High Power...
I was.
Okay, yeah.
I was.
Had his reaction.
Yeah, that was great.
I thought you were.
I'm sorry I went AFK for a bit. One of our trucks flew over the neighbor's fence.
Oh.
And I had to go walk around the block and go collect it.
Yeah. Good time.
Australian issues.
Yeah.
Well, I also like how this really just highlights how Velvet doesn't have a personality for them to hone in on. Because she's acting like all confrontational, pulling on Jean's hair and stuff, and...
Yeah, get it right.
Okay.
Pulling John's
She's
ear.
never acted like that ever.
I made that.
Maybe she's had enough of the bullshit.
Yeah, I made that joke where I was like, I'd say this was out of character for her, but that would require her to have been a character.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's why I don't have a problem with that, and I am confused about Neptune, about whether she's confused or not. Because Velvet doesn't have a personality at all, and so it's kind of fine for her to just be like that. Whereas with Neptune, there has to be a reason. But I still thought it was really funny, just the fact that he pulled a rabbit out of a hat and it was Velvet. But
also, the funny subtitles when she was pulling on Jean's ear said, "It's always the quiet ones that are kinky."
God damn it!
Whoever writes the subtitles is seriously good at it. I do love them.
Yeah, I also said that, like, anytime Jean would say Ruby, it would have in parentheses waifu. That made my Lancaster heart, good, I guess. I don't know.
And then comes the my favorite throwaway skit, which is the find a penny, pick it up, all good day, you'll have good luck. I thought that was funny. Like, it's simple, but I get it. Like, that's definitely a saying we've heard. I just think it's funny to see Ruby carrying Penny and then Penny being totally okay with it.
Like, hi!
Hey, what's up?
Yeah.
Find a penny, pick it up.
I think I might like Shiny Badge just a smidge more.
I hated
peanut butter.
Stuff.
But yeah, this is better than Snaps or what's the other one? UFO by a wide margin.
Oh yeah! Oh god, that was.
Wait. Let's see. That one, UFO was directed by Carrie Shawcross and written by Miles Luna.
Yeah. Well, 3 of the 4.
Stick to Tom Alvarado.
Yeah, 3 of the 4 middle jokes have been written by Miles.
Yeah. Yep. And I mean, I don't think there's much more to say about that one because it's funny, but there's not. It's very simple.
Yeah, I can totally see someone in the studio being like, "Oh, hey, a penny, find a penny, pick it up, and then all day you'll have good luck." And then I guess it would have been Miles been like, "Brilliant! I just thought of a Chibi skit."
Yeah, exactly.
Perfect.
I hope I get to see that Chibi skit that I created for a little comic one day.
So the next
Bella
one
down a bathroom.
Probably not.
Nah.
It's a potty joke, man.
The next one, I love the awkward. I love the awkward dialogue. The dialogue was super funny. Like every single one was funny. Like it has the awkward. I do love Ruby and Chibi because of the way she talks. Like her awkward, can't really speak correctly thing, which is actually I just kind of did that myself. But,
the foolishness you have tolerated compares not to the foolishness in which you have fooled.
Yeah, which I like.
That's still my favorite line in Chibi history.
Because it's consistent with her in actual RWBY, because she's done that. I mean, specifically the best example of that is
when she's talking
RWBY meeting Wife's sister
at a further juncture.
RWBY meeting Wife's sister
At a juncture.
Yeah.
Which was actually really funny. So, I mean, sometimes I feel like they overdo that. They try to do that again, but at least they keep it consistent. And in this case, it was really funny.
Yeah,
this old Team RWBY were awkward.
Yeah, they did that in Magic Show too. I can't remember what she said though.
Yeah, more example of Jessica Negri. Actually, I'm actually liking her voice acting more and more after volumes 1.
Yes, how's it going?
Volumes 1 through 3, I was not convinced. I thought it was a lot of, but you could kind of bring it down to not as much experience and not the best direction, maybe. And then in volume 4 and the Chibis, I actually think she's done a great job. So I'm glad to see that.
Yeah, Jessica Negri is a lot better at hamming it up.
Yeah, Chibi fits her really well, and she does it very well.
She is at trying to be like condescending.
Yeah, the condescending thing just was really, and I think they tried to overdo it because
they just
her voice acting in volume 4, that subtle like gasping, I actually thought she did a good job. So. And then I think her over-exaggerated bravado in Chibi is really funny. So,
I agree.
So, but my favorite two though are the Neo putting the sign up, Jean, you'll be sorry, and John saying, probably.
Like it takes him a second to read it too. And you can actually see his eyes going, which kind of it brings me to another point I wanted to make with Chibi Season 2. They've cleaned up the animation.
Oh yeah,
they've made new character models and rigs.
It's like I think this is the most professional I think the show's ever looked. Like RWBY proper is more vibrant and fluid and stuff like that, but at the same time, a lot of RWBY proper ends up feeling weightless because there's just kind of this unfinished quality about it.
Season 2 reminds me of the show Pocoyo.
Yeah, I'll say what it kind of reminds me of.
The animation style is Pocoyo.
But anyway, like in RWBY proper, there'll be like a lot of clipping issues and a lot of continuity issues, and the characters will be off model at times where they shouldn't be off model.
Yeah.
This one in Chibi Season 1 kind of had a little bit of that floaty quality as well. This one, I haven't felt that yet. It feels like Paw Patrol, which for those of you who don't know, Paw Patrol is a pretty popular show with the youngins right now. I work with kids, so I hear about it all the freaking time.
Sure.
It's a neat little show. I've watched a few episodes when I was babysitting kids and stuff. It's just it's a show about problem solving, but it has that same like kind of chibified CG animated look to it, and it's really clean, really smooth, and all that stuff. And that's kind of what Chibi Season 2's reminded me of. Is it looks very professionally done. Like there's this kind of like weird line where even some of the worst animated movies and stuff kind of have this professional quality to them, this smoothness that Season 2 is the first Rooster Teeth production that, well, not Camp I guess, but the first CG Rooster Teeth production that has really hit that mark, I think.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, yeah, because actually, as much as you definitely like Camp more than I do, but
Camp was 2D animated, and it was just
but I do like the animation in Camp to be honest. At least they
noodle arms.
Well. Yeah, so I mean, at least they do that well. But that's a good point. It's true. And actually, my very favorite line was the Emerald complimenting Weiss line.
I like the way Weiss responds to it.
I like the way Weiss responds also. Thank you.
It's more like a thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I can't do it. I'm a terrible actor, so.
Weiss is mature.
Weiss sounds Weiss sounds almost like Cara Eberly as Weiss sounds almost exactly like my sister. So I've got that down to a freaking science.
Nice, yeah, you must have thought of it. But okay, so there's a couple more reasons of why I like that besides the fact that it's just funny that you have a villain complimenting a quote unquote good guy character in Weiss. It's kind of, to me, it reminds me of Volume 3 where Coco is complimenting.
I think that was on purpose. I think that's what they're doing.
That was on purpose. And also, this is reaching a bit more, but I know there are a lot of theories about Emerald being, and with good reason, about Emerald possibly switching sides to some degree in the future. Which this is the only example of a villain saying something positive to a good guy character. Like,
didn't Emerald also say something positive in Season 3 in the tournament?
That's what he was saying with Coco.
Okay, right. Sorry.
Which that's what this was referring to.
So now this is the second time we've seen Emerald, technically.
Yeah.
Say something nice.
Exactly. So we're keeping that consistent, and the fact that she's saying it specifically to a Team RWBY character. Again, I'm sure tons of people are like, "You're off your rocker. You're totally reaching. That's never going to happen. Chibi's not canon." But I'm just saying. I mean, the stuff that we got hinted from in Chibi season 1 turned out to actually happen,
and that we didn't know before Volume 4. But after Volume 4, we rewatched it, and it's just like, oh,
yeah. There's a lot of stuff that they were hinting at. So, and this is something that people have already theorized about Emerald because of her reaction in Volume 3, which is very clearly she is not fully on board with what was happening. So, you know, I that's another reason why I kind of like that interaction specifically in this episode or this skit.
I feel like all those interactions are kind of a good way or very in character for this character, where it's like the heroes are trying to sound tough and talk smack and failing epically. The villains are actually kind of menacing. Jean knows he's gonna get his ass kicked, and Weiss and Emerald just don't give a crap.
And even Nora was funny. Like, let's have a good, clean game, or just a game, because she knows who she's refereeing. Like, I like how they're being that meta about the fact that she knows it's the villains versus the good guys. Also, sorry, real quick, I just realized something to point out that even more kind of confirms the idea of the show being more current, but in a weird way. Chibi Volume 1, they had no idea who the bad guys were. And then in Chibi Volume 2, it's very obvious that they know that who the bad guys are.
Chibi Volume 1, RWBY knew Torchwick was a villain.
Torchwick, but they didn't know that Emerald and Mercury were bad guys, and Cinder. Where now they're this skit kind of makes it very clear that they're aware of that.
Yeah, that was actually my complaint, is that it seems like Chibi this season, more than season 1, is kind of breaking its own internal logic.
It's a Chibi. It's a Chibi world. Get over it.
Yeah.
That's what people will say.
I mean, it's different from, all of the characters just being oblivious even when it's obvious that Cinder is the villain, but Cinder and her cronies on a team with Roman and Neo and a Grimm, just kind of, my suspension of disbelief does not go that high.
I still love Yuri Lowenthal's voice acting.
Yeah.
What is it with Blake and being the step for people to launch off of?
I was gonna say a subtitle joke. When Zwei makes the Grimm back off, it's like, "Ooh, you're doing me a scared." I am a frightened, or something like that. Classic doggo meme.
Scared. So scared.
Yeah, so that brings us to episode 4. Neptune's game. What was going on in the skit? It seriously makes no sense to me.
It sounds like they were having the Tournament 3 battle with Neptune and with the Team Sun and Team whatever the other group of girls was. Sounds like they were having that fight in the game. With the music.
Neptune was playing a game. He said he's about to fight someone, and then it turns out it's Sun who is playing somehow, but did Neptune know?
No, he doesn't.
No, he was.
No.
How do you do that? How does that happen?
Yeah,
he has a very talented tail.
I mean,
the girls love it.
I mean, the big problem is that not only that, it's like, how is he playing if he doesn't have his own screen to play on? It's weird. The problem with this is
maybe it's like League of Legends.
It feels like a skit that was written by a parent that was trying to be like, "Oh, I'm hip with games, kids," You know, it's kind of making me think of the Hello Fellow Kids thing. You know, because it doesn't make sense at all. Like anybody who plays video games, which let's be honest, pretty much everybody who watches RWBY would have a problem with this skit because it doesn't make sense. How can you do that?
That's kind of weird.
Maybe it's like League of Legends where you can see all the characters on screen at once. Or even, no, but if it was like Super Smash Bros., then you would know that that's not a
it was
CPU.
him playing Sun or something.
You would know it's not a CPU.
And it does have Neptune still acting the same ambiguously homosexual flamboyant way.
I think they were trying to do like with the Legend 27. I think they were trying to do that.
What's the Legend 27? I don't know what that is.
It's an ad for a Game of War, I think. The YouTube app. You've probably skipped it.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah, I've seen that. Yes,
the Legend 27 with it's like, oh, who's the Legend 27? It's this Game of War player.
Yeah. No, I actually have seen it.
Yeah, I think they were trying to do that.
But it didn't make sense the way they did it. I mean, the only funny part was watching Ren get into the game as it goes for some reason, which just makes me think of, and anybody who's watched this might say the same thing. It's like a mini version of watching Fafnir in Dragon Maid. It's kind of like a guy who has no idea what video games are, you know, especially because Ren and Nora grew up like on streets and shit, probably, and didn't have this stuff. They came from nothing, so, and just the way Ren's attitude is, like he would not be a video game player, just like Fafnir, and then all of a sudden, like, you can see over time, he just gets way too into it. I hope they do something on this later where they call back to Ren seeming to love this, and he's really into a game at some point.
Yeah.
That would be hilarious.
I kind of like,
because that's what happened with Fafnir, and I thought that was hilarious.
I'm annoyed. I can't believe I missed out on.
But spoiler, I fucking love Ghostbusters. Yeah, but spoiler, I fucking love Dragon Maid, so.
Yeah.
Fun one.
God
damn it.
That reminds me of the pillow fight skit from season 1, where Ren is hanging out with Sun and Neptune more than Jean is. Like Ren is one of the boys, and Jean is just everybody's punching bag.
That's a good point. That's true, actually. Yeah, they do use Ren like that.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, overall, it wasn't funny. But I'd love to. I thought it was funny because of, you know, I love Dragon Maid, and it reminded me of that. But otherwise, I didn't think it was a very good skit. I did like the Instagram joke in the next one.
Snaps. As somebody who does not use Snapchat or Instagram, this joke did not hit with me at all.
I got it.
I thought it was funny because I Instagram like a motherfucker. So
it was clever. It was a clever little play with that whole.
Yeah,
aspect.
I mean, it's definitely. I can see why if you're not on any of those things, you wouldn't like it. But because it's a throwaway joke.
Dude,
like,
if your Instagram, what's your Instagram? Shout out.
Nah, I don't post anything like this. I post clothing shit. I'm really into certain types of clothing, Japanese and American reproduction clothing. So that's what I do. It's not anything like this stuff. Though everybody does always see my Harry Potter and my Deathly Hallows keychain on all my pictures. So I get a lot of notes on that. And I actually had a RWBY scythe, but at a concert that I went to, the bouncer said it could be used as a weapon, so I had to either throw it away or go put it back in my car. But I was like near the front of the line, so I was going to get front row center for my all-time favorite band, so I threw it away. And I did get front row center for my all-time favorite band playing their 2 best albums. So
you threw away a RWBY scythe?
Nice.
Yeah, so I threw away a $10 RWBY scythe so I could get front row center to the best concert ever, and it was worth it.
How big was the scythe?
Who was it? No, who was it? That's
it was
the question.
Newfound Glory, pop punk band.
Not familiar.
No, they had 2 gold records in like 2002 and 2004. So if you weren't into pop punk back then, you won't know who they are. But the lead guitar player is married to Hayley Williams from Paramore.
Nice.
So that's highly relevant, basically. Yeah.
How big was the scythe?
It's just a little keychain one, little $10 keychain one.
Okay.
So, yeah.
How could that be used as a weapon?
It's open and it's metal, and the pointy bit is actually pretty fucking pointy. So, I agreed with him. He did the right thing by telling me to throw it out. Anyway,
throw that weep shit out, man.
So
you're at a rock concert. Throw that weep shit out.
You didn't know what it was. Yeah. So the next one is the dad jokes one, which it's not super funny, but I kind of get it. Yeah, but that's the joke. So I actually liked it because it's not supposed to be funny, and that's why it's funny, you know? So I don't know. I kind of appreciate it for that.
And Nora eating waffles.
Yeah, Nora
that's twice as filling as.
Which personally I call bullshit because I find pancakes way more filling than waffles. But
I just realized because of the choke incident, I missed out on talking about Ghostbusters. Damn it. Oh well.
Sorry.
I'll listen to it later.
I also do like Sun saying this could be something serious, like digestion. I thought that was funny too. Yeah.
It was just full of bad dad jokes and bad puns, which it worked. Like, I don't know. It's a nice call out to Barb and Bernie's relationship.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I liked it. Like, it works for that, and it's not funny, which is why it's funny. So, I mean, I enjoy. It's still not as like the thing is like so far because that's none of the Chibi, not none of them, but I still think overall. You know what? Never mind. At this point in Chibi, compared to at this point in Chibi Season 1, now that we've gone over everything, I actually think I think Chibi Season 2 is actually doing a better job. It doesn't have as good of jokes as the best parts of Chibi Season 1 so far.
It doesn't have the katana joke.
But then again, most of my favorite Chibi Season 1 things are in the middle and near the end. So far, it's actually doing fine. If we're comparing it in that way. It's like the funniest ones aren't as funny yet. Like it doesn't have that's the katana line. It doesn't have the if only which is the best Chibi skit ever in my opinion.
If only.
If only. Like that's still the funniest one to me. But like we're only 4 episodes in, and now that I look at it, I actually do like the way what Media pointed out, like the throwaway skits, even though 2 of them I absolutely hated. At least they're more spread out, so we're not having completely garbage episodes.
Yeah, definitely.
Which I like. I'm not laughing out loud as much, but there are definitely some good, clever things so far in this Chibi season.
Like stretchy limbs.
It's still achieving its goal better than the actual show is. That's still true.
Yeah.
There's been 2 instances now with Neptune with stretchy legs. First episode with the penny dodgeball, he just stretches his legs into frame like yes.
Well, that's just a cartoon. That's
that's just a little. Yeah, that's
I really didn't notice the stretchy limbs in season 1. I don't think they had that kind of.
Oh, they definitely did with Jean when Jean broke Weiss's phone. They did.
Okay.
That.
Yep.
Yeah, I think they've done it a couple other times, but that's just the one that I could think of.
I'm just saying to notice the stretchy limb stuff.
It's called exaggeration. It's one of the 12 principles of animation.
Yeah.
You should
also,
know
one
this
thing
as an animator.
One other thing I did like I did like that they just left Nora there the whole time and just nobody called. Like after that, like nobody gave a shit. She's just like unconscious on the couch, and nobody cared.
When I first watched it, I kind of thought that it was.
I thought that was funny.
It had something to still do with the Ghostbusters. Like, oh gosh, is this a
That would have
continuation
been
from the
funny.
Gus?
That would have been a funny little bit of continuity.
Like, oh no, something's happened to
What happened
Nora.
with Deme's grip?
Oh my god, she farts on the couch, and the Geist comes out.
Oh my god, that'd be amazing.
Says, looks like Nora was passing, guys.
Yeah.
I'll be here all podcast.
God damn it,
Nora was passing, guys.
You just read a better joke than they've written so far.
That's. I hope that Geist group thing, that the fact that she ate a Geist, comes back into play
Yeah,
in the
I'd love
series.
to see that. Yeah,
Because I really thought that's where it was going to come back into play.
I know that's true. They did miss an opportunity with that. It might though eventually. You never know. So anyway,
If not, I'll do a one shot.
Yeah. It's so.
Something
I mean,
like
so
that
far,
happens.
it's still funny. Like the best jokes so far in this season of Chibi are not as super hilarious as the best jokes from Chibi season 1, but we only have 4, and I would say overall these 4 I think I liked more than the first 4 of Chibi Volume 1. Personally, I would say that. My favorite one though is definitely the I still think the penny dodgeball one's still my favorite one.
I'll agree with that one, yeah.
Oh, my favorite individual joke is I actually really like the Emerald and Weiss interaction.
Yeah, I don't know if as far as episodes go, I don't think so. The first 4 episodes, the first 5 episodes of season 1 were really front loaded with skits. Like they were having like 4 to 6 each, instead of just 3.
Yeah, and there's so many throwaway ones that's why I think I preferred how they're doing it so far now, personally.
Like the first 12 skits in season 1 were RWBY Makes Cookies, Ninjas of Love, Party Games, Weiss and Yang Training, Cat Burglar, Ice Skating, Jump Rope, Yarn, Blake vs. Y.
Don't forget Pin the Tail.
Jean calls, that's Party Games.
Okay.
Then Jean calls Weiss and Reloading. Those were the first 12 skits in RWBY Chibi. So I'm not even sure. I do like. It seems it's gonna be more consistent, like throughout. Like,
yeah.
Like you said, there's not gonna be any like throwaway episodes.
Yeah, which I prefer. I do hope we get some really funnier jokes than what they're doing. I need a little bit more. I don't know, just some really, really high quality ones like they had. But again, there's only 4 episodes in. We're only a sixth of the way there, so hopefully there's more time.
Which it's kind of weird that it's been more consistent. Well, I guess writing wise, it's actually been the same guy who has written all but 3. Tom Alvarado has written all of them except Snaps, Find a Penny, and UFO, which were all written by Miles. But they've had different directors for each skit within the episode. Like Miles, Carey, and Gray directed episode 1. Gray, Cohen, and Carey directed episode 2. Patrick, Dustin, and Cohen directed episode 3. Gray, Miles, and Cohen directed episode 4.
Yeah, I mean, it's good that it's being consistent so far. I like that. I'm still enjoying it, and like I said, it's achieving its aims better than regular RWBY has so far. So that's good.
You can't ever knock something that achieves what it strives for.
Yeah, and like I said, I'm really happy to see all these confirmations of current references and everything that they're doing. That makes me happy about Chibi as a whole. And so it allows us to make these theories about hints for the next season of RWBY. And I think what we need to do is at the end of Chibi, when we do our last Chibi podcast for this season, we need to write down all the things that we see as hints and then see if they actually happen in Volume 5 or 6. That'll be really interesting to do.
Yeah.
To take a look at. So, unless anybody has any further thoughts on Chibi, we can move on to the really juicy shit that we've got for this week.
Yeah.
I'm tapped out for RWBY Chibi so far.
Yeah.
I'm liking it. I look forward to seeing it week after week up until Volume 4 or Volume 5 rather comes out.
Makes the wait a little bit. It does make the wait a little bit easier, especially with the fact that we can kind of theorize off of it. That definitely helps. But we've got some other stuff that can help us theorize. We've got the DVD/Blu-ray has been released on the Rooster Teeth page, and I have mine pre-ordered for I think it's Tuesday or no, tomorrow. Is it tomorrow or Tuesday?
Yes. Yeah.
It's
For me it's tomorrow, but for you it's just 2 days from now.
It's Tuesday. I have it pre-ordered from Amazon, so I should get it on the day it comes out, which is something I appreciate about Amazon. They actually deliver it on the day rather than ship it on the day it comes out. So I will have some. Well, basically, the big thing about the DVD and Blu-ray being released is the video commentary. The audio commentary is the big thing about that. It's really the reason why I even buy them in the first place. That something that I definitely appreciate about Rooster Teeth is the fact that they include several commentary tracks, and in fact, Volume 3 had even more than the first 2 volumes. So you get a lot of information.
The director's commentary, the animator's commentary, and the character's commentary.
And then Volume 3 had even more than that. It had another one too. It had like a technical thing. It had like a technical one too.
Okay. I only got the normal DVD. I didn't actually get the.
So
there's still three. There's still 3 commentaries on the normal DVD.
Yeah, they have several. Yeah, they have at least 3 full-length commentaries on every single for the whole season, which I absolutely love. That's my favorite thing. Is you definitely get I mean, I think I don't know if all of us here, but I'm pretty sure all of us here have listened to every single commentary track at least once.
Oh yeah.
I've listened to all of the ones for Volume 3. I've not listened to all the ones on the other 2, but I have read them.
Homework.
Because like a couple months at like I don't know how long, but at least well, again, like I wasn't even that big of a RWBY fan until halfway through Volume 2, so I didn't even bother with the first volume that much.
Well, I bought the DVDs after I watched Volume 3, and then I watched all of them like basically in the same weekend.
You can find transcripts for the commentaries on the wiki. It's not as fun. I have read the commentary, at least the writer commentary on Volumes 1 and 2.
Yeah, so I mean, but you definitely get a lot of information out of it, I think.
What I like is with the character commentary, the characters, even though they recorded it or whatnot, it's still their live reaction for episode 11 and 12.
Yeah, and Miles made that a point. Like he doesn't watch the last 2 episodes until they're
doing the audio commentary.
Until they do the commentary.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah. So
there's a part in the Volume 1 commentary where he's like, really? It's when Penny splits the ships in half, and Miles is just like, really? That's kind of dumb. And then Monty rather had to like convince him that because it was Penny, it was all right.
You do get some actual confirmed canon things out of it though, because we got that from what was one of the biggest ones? Oh, confirmation that the relationship between Blake and Adam was abusive. We got that out of the commentary tracks. So it is one of those things where if you want to be fully up to date on everything canon in RWBY, it's one of the things you have to have. Because they do actually give some...
At least the director commentary.
At least the director commentary,
which is
definitely.
Miles, Carrie, Gray, and then for Volume 1 and 2, Monty as well.
Yeah. So, yeah, at the very least, those you get a lot out of. Although, I think some of the other ones you'll get those guys in as well. So, I think sometimes you get some more information
the one with the actresses... with Lindsay, Kara, Barbara, and Aaron. That's the funniest one.
Oh, that one's always the funniest, so it's always worth listening to.
Kill him. Kill him. Kill him.
Yeah.
Damn it, Blake.
Which is funny because that's like the only time I find Lindsay funny is when she's in those audio commentaries. I don't hate Lindsay; she's actually a really good voice actress, but I just don't ever find her funny in the Achievement Hunter videos.
Yeah, you're not alone. I don't agree, but
although
you're not alone.
In fairness, she's actually
comment.
she has been funny in On the Spot actually, but then again, like On the Spot's pretty much always funny.
And there's Always Open.
I can't stand that because some of the people
I've seen a few episodes of that.
Some of the people they get on there.
Barbara's a good host.
Barbara's a good host, yes, but I just find some of the people they have on there to be completely insufferable. So. Alrighty.
Also, the soundtrack. That's coming out. This month.
We'll have we'll do a podcast talk about the commentary whenever we've all like seen it and stuff, and we'll talk about like
all the multiple commentaries. Now, question: do we go get the Blu-ray or do we go get the normal DVD?
Oh, I always buy the Blu-ray.
Yeah, I'm gonna be buying.
For the longest time, season volume 1, 2, and 3 I have on DVD. I don't have the Blu-ray, so yeah, I'm gonna get volume 4 on Blu-ray.
So we'll start doing that too because it's something else to do in addition to the Chibi stuff. We can have some talking. We'll do a podcast on that as well when that comes out. But now to the really juicy shit. We got some information about the soundtrack. Now the soundtrack, obviously, this is really late for the soundtrack to come out. I think last year it came out in May, and it's going to come out. I believe it's confirmed for June 16th, and technically we're not even sure about that because it was slowed down the first time. I think Jeff had a hand injury, which slowed it down. But let's be honest, the real reason we're talking about this is the song called Bumblebee. That's what we're talking about. That's why we're talking about this right now. The thing is, we've talked about this before. We've mentioned this before. The lyrics from Jeff's songs are canon. In fact, and I've mentioned this before, it's kind of like Chibi. Jeff's songs do a better job of achieving their aims and kind of do a better job of explaining the show and certain aspects of the show better than the show itself does at times. Let's be honest, Jeff as a musician is more talented than the RWBY team is at making a show. If you're just comparing apples to apples, it's just a fact. So you get a lot of good information out of Jeff's lyrics. And that was especially confirmed in Volume 4 when we realized just how ridiculously accurate and in the ways literal Boop was. It was really literal. So you definitely know that Jeff has information about the show, and you get a lot out of his soundtrack.
Well, yeah, and a lot of it has to do with direction. Like, it's one thing to say, like, to describe your character and whatnot. It's a whole nother deal to actually portray that visually in a narrative format with all these moving pieces.
Yeah.
So with Jeff Williams, like, he talks with the writers, and they're like, "Hey, this is what's gonna happen," yada yada, and then he's able to like hone in on what they talk about, what the character dynamic is, and whatnot, and make art that way.
Yeah. So I mean, there's a lot of information that you can get out of them, and there's a lot of information people have gotten. But so really why we're talking about this is there is a song that is called Bumblebee, and what's it spelled? B-U-M-B-L-B?
It's right? B-M-B-L-B.
Oh, B-M-B-L-B. Okay. Very clearly it's called Bumblebee. Does anybody have the actual sample of lyrics? Because I couldn't find like the full thing.
I have the sample pulled up, but I don't have anything that tells what the full lyrics are. There's just the one guy who posted it on Facebook.
And they are because what do you have to like? Can you like repeat them?
I have to find the post first.
Okay, because the reason why here is the song lyrics are canon. There's no getting away from that. That's just a fact. And the interesting thing is that it says the title is Bumblebee. Now that could either be a tease. Either way, it's Jeff kind of fucking with the fandom, which I appreciate. But it's either it's a feign and it's just about the bike, which is fine. That's fine.
So you're saying it might be where she's driving on her motorbike on Mistral.
Or it's exactly, because that would still be relevant for sure. Or it is actually about Yang's feelings for Blake. Now, a lot of people are already upset about this, obviously, the Black Sun fans. Now, full disclosure,
I found the post. It's on RWBY Republic. It was Cassandra Lopez, who, and I don't even think this is the full lyrics of the sample. We sit for a while as I drink and you smile. It feels like a dream that's come true. My head starts to fuzz and my heart's filled with love over you.
Yeah, that's not about the bike.
Yeah. You sure?
I really I'm already getting people saying that. Now here's the thing. I
said it as a joke. I said it as a joke, like plot twist. It's actually about the bike.
Yeah.
Same here.
Now, before I heard the sample lyrics, I said it could just be about the bike. Now that's not about the bike. Now here's the thing.
There's also a line about wind blowing through her hair.
Exactly. I mean, we're not 100% sure.
I remember that part. I think.
We'll obviously be able to talk about this way more once the actual soundtrack comes out. And I hesitate to say, Media, that probably the podcast about the soundtrack and audio commentary will not be the same podcast as Chibi, because there's probably a lot more to talk about.
Yeah, probably. We'll do it on an off week, or since we're only talking about Chibi every 4 episodes, we'll do it.
Yeah,
sometime in
once a month.
Yeah, as long as we do it before I go to Japan, but I'll talk to you about that later. But the thing is that obviously you have tons of Black Sun fans already. Keep in mind, Republic is the biggest RWBY hub. It's got like over 50,000 people now, maybe 60 now.
Yeah, close to that.
It's ridiculous amounts of people on it. So obviously, tons of angry Black Sun fans. This honestly could be in some ways a really, really, really big deal, and in some ways not that big of a deal. In some ways, it's a huge deal because the main argument for Black Sun shippers is that there is literally no canon evidence for any romance between Blake and Yang. Full disclosure, I ship Bumblebee, but I agree with them. They are correct about that. This would change that because this would be canon lyrics from Yang's perspective about being in love with Blake.
Which I'm down for.
Yeah, I'm down for it too.
It could as very well be she misses the fact that
we already kind of talked about this in the shipping podcast, but I totally see Yang being bi.
Yeah, totally, exactly. And so,
yep.
And as a Bumblebee shipper, obviously I'm for that. But I also don't hate Black Sun, and I'd be fine if that happened too, as long as they do it right. I think the funny thing is I see the Black Sun shippers are freaking out a bit more than they should be. And they're just trying to say, like, oh, no, it's not about this, or it's not. No. You guys have to understand, the lyrics are canon. If this is about Blake, and it's definitely seeming that way, then, yeah, there's canon feelings from Yang about Blake.
Well, you can't argue that. Love triangle
and the fact that she
love triangle incoming. But
she got hurt so much from the incident at Beacon. So this could be reminiscing on the times before Beacon happened.
I mean, there's going to be a fight either way between them. That's going to happen either way, but it depends on how they kiss and make up or whatever. You know what I mean? But
fight, kiss.
But the thing is, I think the Black Sun fans are freaking out more than they need to be because, I mean, just because there's canon feelings on one side doesn't mean that the ship's going to set sail. I mean,
we got back to back songs about Pyrrha expressing her feelings to Jean, and well, that ship burned to the ground.
Yeah, exactly. So it doesn't mean that it's going to set sail.
I mean, come on, look at the relationship between Sun and Blake in Volume 4. Come on.
Well, no, she definitely came around.
I'll say this: like, same thing goes with Blake and Sun's relationship and the people who like it and hate it, and because another one of these songs on this album is
Morning Follows Night.
like Morning Follows Night. I almost called it From Shadows Part 2. Like Morning Follows Night, which is about Blake and Sun.
Yeah, so it's
And
going to
in-
be
and-
dialogue.
Wouldn't it be crazy if that song
And
and
Volume
Bumblebee
3
were right
no,
after the other on the
in
track list?
In the Volume 3 soundtrack, it's not. We already have the track list order. And
Damn.
the Volume 3 the Volume 3 soundtrack had What Am I Supposed to Do? Just sit here and not fall in love with you, which was which was completely from Sun's perspective, just fawning over Blake upon unabashedly attended.
which, in my opinion, is the worst song on any of the RWBY soundtracks.
I
Period.
agree.
Not because
it's,
of
just
the
kind
lyrics.
of it's just kind of a
It's
mess.
It's not a good song. The lyrics, but I still respect the fact that the lyrics are canon. Even as a Bumblebee shipper, I'm not going to argue that those lyrics are not canon. So it's, to me, what would be the most appealing about this is this would be the first love triangle in the history of fiction I've ever seen that I'm actually for. I'd actually be totally for this love triangle.
Yeah, love
So
triangles
we
in general
all agree
get
on
really
Banana Split.
Bad raps a lot of the time. Because
we
a
all
lot
agree on
of
Banana Split?
frustrating.
they get frustrating. For some reason, though, I actually kind of like the idea of this one. If for no other reason than it would make Blake interesting instead of just annoying. And yeah, shots fired.
I'm sure love triangles have been done like this. I mean, we get like 1 billion anime every year, and I don't watch that weeb crap.
My Hero Academia here.
Yeah. Well, the thing I love about My Hero Academia is that it's basically just Silver Age Marvel comic books in anime form. But anyway, just it is an interesting love triangle to see, like a guy and a girl fighting over a presumably completely straight girl.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing, is just because the lyrics, I think the Black Sun Shippers are freaking out, and they really should just be more tempered about it and say...
Like I kind of tease something like that a little bit in my fan fiction with a little bit with Blake and Sun and Yang, but more recently in Generations with Citrine, Ice, and Johnny before I actually went full on ship.
You want to get very technical about the situation. Sun already has Kali's blessing.
Yeah, no, that's true. She definitely does.
Sun is fine.
Yeah,
and
I mean,
he's even got the blessing from the father. So, yeah.
So
yeah, what will be will be.
we're like I said, we're not 100% sure yet. We have to see the full lyrics to be able to tell if it's about the bike or not. And I guess
let's just all agree on Banana Split. How about that?
Yeah, that's what I said in our shipping podcast.
Banana Split for the win.
Let's do a quick rundown because we do have the track listing.
Okay.
Track 1 is "Let's Just Live," which I am so excited. That's the song I'm most excited for. I love it since the beginning. It's my favorite opening song.
It's not the one I'm most excited for.
It's my favorite opening. Then track 2 is "Like Morning Follows Night," which is from Shadows Part 2.
I'm actually really excited about that one because I love the different beat they use on that one, which is really cool. I actually really liked that song, and it's actually one of the songs I use to argue against people saying that this is going to be the weakest soundtrack yet, because I actually really liked how that song sounds. So
I want to hear the soundtrack they had playing in episode 2 of Volume 4 with the Pyrocene. I want to hear that soundtrack.
Oh yeah, like the actual background music. The score.
Yeah. Score.
And then track 3 is "Bad Luck Charm," which is Crow's edgy, circa 2002 new metal, crawling in my skin song.
Which I'm actually excited for because Jeff actually has a very diverse taste in music, and I really want. Like, if he does a Hawthorne Heights emo song. Spoiler alert, I used to be really into pop punk, which was very much tied with the emo scene back in the early 2000s. So I am super hyped for this song, to be honest. Also, I love Crow. He's my favorite individual character.
Then we have "This Life Is Mine," which is "Fuck You Dad" the song.
Yeah, I'm excited for that one too, because I love Weiss, and there can never be enough fuck Weiss's dad songs.
Yeah.
Because seriously, fuck Weiss's dad.
I was going to do that.
Track 5.
Okay, do whatever you want, man.
Track 5 is Home, which is the credit song for Volume 4.
Yeah, that's the one I'm most excited for. Yeah, that's the one I'm most hyped for, because I actually really like the melody.
And then, what I think is... This one we've heard the full version of before. Like, it got released as a single. Armed and Ready. Which is 2/3 of, like, one of the best songs Jeff Williams has ever done. And then the last third just kind of gets really goofy. And kind of forgets what it's talking about. Like, it starts referencing a bunch of stuff with Junior at the end instead of... It like stops referencing Adam and Blake or anything else and just starts referencing Junior for no reason except, hey, that happened.
Yeah, but I mean, I still like the music on it is still pretty awesome. So
then track 7 is we also have the full version of it's Lucis Naturae, which is actually from Grim Eclipse. It's the theme song from Grim Eclipse and the post-credit scene from that game.
Oh, okay, I haven't even heard that one yet, so.
Then track 8 is Bumblebee. Then that is actually it for the original songs. Track 9 is
about right.
Track 9 is an acoustic version of Boop. Track 10.
Yes. Sorry.
Yeah, no acoustic version. No acoustic version of When It Falls, to my surprise. Track 10 is a remix of Sacrifice, which the sound sample that is on this website. Oh God, no, please. Then it's then track 11 is I May Fall, which is the same. It's another fucking I May Fall remix. I don't know why they keep trying to push this song.
Maybe it's of relevance to the story.
I do not.
Or it's because people left their bunny waifu.
Well, it's...
Dude, you were eating your microphone just then.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. It's because people
he does that when he gets super serious.
We really couldn't understand anything you just said.
Okay. It's because people... Wasn't that the one they used for bunny waifu?
Yeah, yes. That is the song that they use for Velvet's
It's because
people
love their stupid bunny waifu.
Shut up.
Yeah.
I think Katie and Jack are like super adorable in real life, but I don't like Velvet.
Yeah, it says Harry for both Sacrifice and I May Fall. It says Harry Loads remix. So somebody did a remix.
Velvet's my waifu. Leave her alone.
I guess. And then after that, it's just the score for the different episodes.
Yeah, which is always good.
Good stuff. Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, there's definitely some speculation about the Bumblebee song, and it'll definitely be interesting to see the Bumblebee song versus the Black Sun song, and of course, the Crow song. All the other lyrics will be interesting to see. There's definitely going to be a good amount to talk about there, and who knows how much information we're going to get out of the audio commentary, but that should be really interesting. And the reason I'm talking about that is because that podcast will come before the next Chibi podcast. So, because that's us coming out very soon.
Yeah.
So that's going to be exciting. There's definitely going to be a lot to talk about with that stuff. It's nice to have. I always look forward to these releases because we're actually getting some canon information in between the show, the episode. Anytime you can get some canon information between the show coming out is good. Plus the Chibi speculation, which I still think is a real thing. It's nice to have that during our long break.
Also, is Camp coming out soon?
Yeah, isn't it like this weekend or something?
I think so.
Yes, this week. It's going to be available for first members.
Nice. So that's cool. All right. So anything else? Anything that anybody else needs to talk about?
Can talk about Red versus Blue because Yeah,
I haven't watched it. I haven't watched it yet.
Season 15's been okay. It had a really rough start, but it's starting to get better. And I've been arguing with Full Metal on the merits of this latest episode and the theories that it's sprouting.
It's okay.
Gotcha. Yeah, I stopped watching after Chorus. I haven't seen anything since then.
You literally have not missed anything yet.
That's why I haven't watched, because you hate Chorus. I adored the Chorus trilogy. I'm not saying it's the best, but I really liked it. And just I think it's very obvious. I haven't even have to watch it to know it's gone.
The latest episode of Red vs. Blue. Holy crap!
I've been liking season 15 more than I've liked any really. The last few, there was a few episodes there where I was like, this is the best Red vs. Blue has been since season 6.
I mean, my problem with Red vs. Blue is that it was super funny at first, and then it tried to be serious, and it did kind of a good job at it, and then it kind of threw all that away, and then it kind of was serious. It's too all over the place. Like it never really knows exactly what it wants to be.
It tries to like genre change and do all that stuff, but the characters have not changed at all since season 1.
Yeah, it's like he gave us hints that Tucker's more than we think he is, and then it's no, never mind, he's just a douchebag. Like, I don't know, it's definitely not.
The Reds have literally done nothing since season 6.
Yeah, exactly. So
Even did a throwdown about that.
yeah,
they've done a couple jokes about that since season 6. They started making jokes about it back in season 7. It was getting so ridiculous.
Yeah, so I like Red vs. Blue, but honestly, people will say that Red vs. Blue is a better show than RWBY. I don't agree with that, just because Red vs. Blue doesn't even know what it is.
The first 5 seasons, I would say, are better than the first 6 seasons. Well, season 6 is my favorite, but the first 6 seasons are better than anything RWBY's done.
Yes, but the problem is now there's more seasons that make no sense.
Yeah, now we're well into season 15.
So you can't just pick and choose. You know what I mean? I agree with that, but you can't just pick and choose, and you know what I mean? That doesn't work. You can't do that. The rest, some of the rest of Red, and then the other part is the problem with Red vs. Blue is that it's the opposite of the sum of its parts being greater than the parts themselves, or whatever the thing is. It's greater than the sum of its parts. Red vs. Blue is actually worse than the sum of its parts. That's the problem. That's the problem I have with it.
With that.
What?
But yeah, I can kind of agree with that. Is that like the overall story is super convoluted, but the stuff that makes it up is pretty funny. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And sometimes you get some really great character moments and things like that, but not as much. I mean, actually, RWBY does character moments better than most shows. That's one of the big reasons why we even watch it, which we've talked about that before. But yeah, I that's my problem with Red vs. Blue, and why I just partly fell off of it even more than before.
Although my favorite episode in Red vs. Blue is end of season 6, last episode of season 6, the reveal of Church being the director. And if you haven't seen it by this point, I don't care about spoilers.
Yeah, exactly.
Right,
yeah, don't. Yeah, that's not your.
It's been nearly 10 years at this point.
That's not your fault. So, but yeah, I mean, otherwise, there's I don't know if there's anything else to talk about, really. Right? Chibi's good so far. I'm enjoying it.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and we'll have some.
Alrighty.
If you like this video and you want to hear my voice more, like, comment, and subscribe. I do videos on YouTube pretty regularly, trying to get my next most important scene video out in the next few days. The reason why I've been a little loopy today is because I was editing it for like the 5 hours leading up to this. I also write a ridiculous amount of RWBY fan fiction, the RWBY On series, which is going to be coming to an indefinite close here in the next month or so.
And then you can write more of that Lancaster fic.
Yes! That's the plan.
Yes! Yes!
Just act maturely, coming later this summer.
Calm down, sweaty boys.
Calm down. It was so good. That's such a good fic. Oh my gosh, I don't That one's good.
Yeah.
Calm down,
I
sweaty
also-
boy.
If you haven't read his Lancaster fic, what was it called? It was Just Act Casual.
Just Act Casually.
Yeah, he had no idea why so many people were reading it, and then I read it. I was like, no, very obvious why so many people are reading it. Go read it on that. Go read that. Yeah, go read
I also
that.
write wholly
Link it in the description.
I also write wholly original stuff called Guardians of Terra, which I'll be writing.
What's that?
Come on, Guardians of Terra. It's about like monsters and superheroes and immortals and super soldiers and pretty much whatever I want.
And where can I find this?
On Fiction Press. Link to Guardians of Terra will always be in the description no matter what video.
Haha.
And then
Totally not self-promoting right here.
Yeah.
Hey,
what else do I have to shell out for? RWBY and Beyond, our Facebook page. You can always join the conversation there and even contribute your thoughts, and we'll talk about them in our podcasts and videos and stuff like that.
Our new tagline is RWBY and Beyond. We're less cancerous than RWBY Republic.
Shut up. We don't want them to be here, man.
Trademark 2017.
You'll be studying the cancer this week. Great, thank you. Just with that comment.
That is about all that I've got going on right now. So, anybody else?
Link to the Discord.
Oh yeah, you can also join the conversation on the Discord, and if you do that, you might even appear on the podcast like Robert.
Yep. We have a couple people that are pretty much on every podcast, which is basically Media and I are on every single podcast, and then depending on...
I try to be on most of them.
High Power's on most of them, for sure. But, you know...
And I try to be on a lot of them as well.
Yeah, Ballzy's on quite a lot. Sock Lucard's on quite a lot. And then everybody else, it's just, once in a while.
Wild card!
If we don't hate you and you have something interesting to say, then, we'll put you on the podcast.
And a lot of people will be listening, so be careful.
I don't have anything.
Anybody else got anything to play?
I don't have anything. I don't have anything to shill for right now.
I don't have anything yet.
Yeah, we already promoted your list at the beginning of this podcast.
Yeah, exactly.
And I appreciate that, and I'll be trying to do some video essays of some of those, but yeah. That's all I got.
Lists are really easy to do. I haven't done any list videos yet. I do plan on it in the future sometime. But conceptually, they're easy to make.
Please do a list video on the conversation that doesn't have to happen list. That's my favorite list of yours by far. Definitely the best one.
Make it for the people who are blind here.
Yeah, I want to see a video of that one. That would be amazing.
I'd have to get some voice actors for that one, but I'll see what I can do.
I'm pretty sure you'll get all of us on the Discord to volunteer to help you with.
I could do. I
will happily help out a fellow friend.
If you need somebody with a deep voice and that's it, I can do that because that's literally all I can do because that's what I have.
Baritones.
Yeah, exactly. I can be a baritone. And
baritones.
I think we have two girls that are here. I could probably in our group.
Kitty Karashima and Keyboard Kitty.
Yeah, Kitty and
two
Kitty.
Kitties.
We do have two kitties that you could use.
Two cats.
I could force my fiance to do something. I'm sure she would.
Oh gosh, that could be taken out of context now.
Let's see what I can do. Thank you.
You know what I mean.
Too late.
Yeah. Oh, I do have one other thing before we close. I do have a Patreon now. So, and I've actually had it for a few weeks. Sometimes I forget to plug it, sometimes I don't. I do have a Patreon. I don't have any donors yet. But it's just there if anybody feels so inclined. Link will also be in the description.
I mean, you want people to donate their blood to your cause, so it's kind of understandable. We can't really donate blood over the internet.
I just rather them donate their money.
I'm
not looking for a revolution. I'm just looking for
one blood sacrifice per video, please.
Yeah, money's a bit easier to convert into the things he needs, I think.
I mean, blood does have iron, which you can turn into. Nah, that's a bit too pricey.
Yeah, but I'm not an
Yeah.
alchemist.
True.
And I ain't about to make no philosopher's stone.
I mean, if you get a philosopher's stone, you can make as much money as you want, man.
I'm gonna end this podcast before we derail onto some Fullmetal Alchemist and the morals
Okay.
of that show.
Which
And
I haven't
potentially- yeah, and potentially spoil.
On the count of three, let's all say see you later.
Yeah. All right.
1, 2, 3.
Bye.
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 Bye.